Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Evoland 2. I am still joined by Cyberlink420.
And we are right at the end of the game. But before we do that, I want to kind of peek around.
I wanted to point out something before you start flying around like you always do!
I like flying.
I was going to say the sphere thing, actually. The thing that was like, we're obviously in a different time frame from where we last left off. And of course, it's swirling almost exactly like the anomaly did back in the Magi era.
That's true.
It looks very identical to that. Of course, we know that it's like this little dome thing, but it raises interesting questions, doesn't it?
It does. But
anyway.
Before we dive into that, let's what's this lost island here?
It's a little plus sign is what it is.
Just this little kind of lone hut.
Mm-hmm.
And for what it's worth, I was already in here earlier while I was catching up on stuff we missed. But you can see there, that's a baby's cradle.
Yes, it is.
And when I first came in here, there was a treasure chest, and inside it was the card for Ceres.
Huh. So this was where she was born, or at least left?
And apparently this is where her parents died, because there's 2 tombstones right there.
Interesting. What did they say?
It does not have any text.
Interesting. I imagine that would either be something of a spoiler, or it's something that the game designers did not think was going to be important.
Or perhaps this is something we're going to find out about later, before we go to deal with the Ceres issue, as it were.
The Ceres issue, he says. You know, again, I do like that she is something of a sympathetic villain. It's just like anything, like any good antagonist, it's the choices that they make that end up driving things in a plot.
This is true. But also, since we, defeated the Guardian, created that kind of stable rift, Fina's village is safe.
Interesting. We haven't been there in a while, or at least we haven't been there.
Yeah, again, I was poking around to try and catch up on stuff. And there was a conversation with Finrust earlier where Fina had a whole tearful reunion, and as far as he knows, it's only been, minutes since she and Kuro went into the forest, so...
Right. We're obviously good for money.
Yep. And also, he was the final opponent I had to defeat to get the very, very last trading card. And it was not an easy fight, but...
So you did a lot of things off camera, is what you're saying?
Yes, I went back, found all of the treasure chests, all of the cards. As you can see, I now have a full collection.
Very nice. Well, that's good. I am... Kuro? Question mark?
That's for the Dark Kuros that we fought in the Anomaly.
Ah, okay. I mean, there is still quite a bit of a question mark around Kuro. I believe we've kind of touched on some certain similarities that he has to a certain Professor Jiro.
A little bit.
And I'm curious to see where this all leads to, even though I've got my suspicions. I believe I voiced some of them.
Yep.
I do like that, again, this sphere has more dimensions. I mean, of course, we're already moving on because I can't talk about anything.
Well, the sphere is still there, but now it really does have more dimensions.
Yes, I know. But that's what I'm just trying to say. All right, so we might as well check out Nibiru Village.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
I feel like Luke is deliberately subverting me somehow.
I'm not trying to, I swear.
Oh, look, it's Nibiru Village. Let's check it. Nope, I hit the wrong button.
So, Nibiru's looking a little worse for wear here in the future.
Yeah. I mean, it's still around, but any old village is probably going to look a little run down. It has been a long time indeed since I saw a fresh face out here. What with that fancy wind technology, all the young folks have flocked to Genova. Once upon a time, this village was full of life, but little by little it shriveled up. That's the circle of life for you, I suppose. You know, it's interesting that, again, if we hadn't been meddling in the timeline, this place wouldn't exist, but if we hadn't been meddling to get the flying technology in the first place, they might not have then proceeded to trickle on out.
That's true.
But so it kind of shows that every action does in fact have an impact, and has little ripples that you can't even necessarily see the immediate impact of.
Yeah.
Anyway. But the place is so dear to me. I could never bring myself to leave.
So yeah, I think this kind of feeds into our whole time loop thing, because it's like the village eventually, you know, kind of fades away and is forgotten, and then the time loop restarts again with Fina's great-grandfather or whatever restarting the village.
Interesting.
And then I'm kind of curious to see what Jenova is like now that not everything is necessarily smog-powered.
Smug-powered.
Excuse me.
I mean...
You're now entering the great trade capital, Jenova. Be sure not to make any trouble and we'll ensure your safety. Yeah, everything is looking a lot nicer than it was before. Like, if you remember, this place was super run down. Everything had like a red filter over it. Just all the smug running through the air.
Mama always looks on the bright side. Are all grown-ups like that?
Always look on the bright side of life. Sorry. Our family's been poor for generations. Thank goodness the sun shines over Jenova.
Yeah, you can thank me for that.
Not... I mean, yes and no. I suspect that we can thank Kuro for the fact that it also once did not shine over Jenova, so...
Perhaps. Let's, I kind of want to see what...
Perhaps we saw him activate it!
It's complicated.
Oh, it's complicated, he says. It's complicated, he says. All right.
Hey, kids, you drinking anything?
I'm waiting for it to catch up. Oh, my God.
Thanks for the book.
Well, at least...
Oh, God, I don't remember. There. Careful not to... Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It looks like they have not taken up drinking as the book suggested, so... Yeah,
well, that's good. I am relieved that there is no drinking of minors in this game.
Yeah, and I would be...
There are no minors drinking. Don't drink minors either. That's also not good.
Coal or otherwise.
You know, you add new levels to it. Stop that.
I'm just saying. Neither interpretation of minors is something I want to drink.
Yeah, don't drink people.
Yeah, that's good advice in general, honestly.
So, was there anything else that was...
Well, as you can see now, I have all of the Orichalcon gear.
Oh, nice. Orichalcum.
So...
And no Orichalcum.
Yep. So I've got that. All of my party members are fully upgraded. They all have their summons.
Nice. Are we going to be able to have the chance to see those?
I'll give it a shot. But basically, aside from getting Kuro to level 30, which, you know, we'll probably be fine anyway, we're about as ready to take this baby on as we can be.
Remember when I first pointed out that screen at the very beginning of the game after I first actually saw it? And I pointed out, look at all of these things that are probably collectible items, followers, things along those lines. And now it's a very full platter.
This is
all
true.
of the things that we've seen over the course of this game, we've got context for all of them. So, is the only thing left? Is the only thing left then to go into this thing?
I think this is the last big hurdle. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And we are back here in the anomaly. Very interesting indeed. This definitely wasn't here the last time we came this way. I swear it on my favorite ancient tome.
Considering how much we've altered the timeline, I confess I no longer have a clue.
Anyway, that symbol is just like the one on the Stone of Time. Indeed. The Stone of Time. To think I've dreamt of it for so long. Well, let's go search for it.
If luck is in our favor, this will lead us to Ceres. We reach the end of our quest.
But do we? Probably.
If I remember correctly, we left it on the cursed isle.
Alright, so it looks like we need to actually leave the anomaly and head to the Cursed Isle to pick it up.
I see. Glad we could just walk out of it, though.
Yeah.
But at the very least, you know, the game is good about actually telling you. Because I've played those games where they don't actually tell you what you're supposed to do next. And you're supposed to just sort of, like, you know, magically divine it somehow. Well.
Oh no, I can't reach those stairs anymore. Now how will I travel through time?
I have no idea. How can you possibly travel through time without those stairs?
It shall forever be outside of my grasp.
I just love that you go straight from boat to flying machine.
I mean, would you not?
Well, that's just it. Like, there's no actual mechanical reason for that. It's just funny. It's a funny visual.
Alright.
Alright. So now we reconnoiter, I guess.
A portal! Kuro, quick! I still don't get why Ceres is doing all this, but we have to stop her either way.
Mega Clink, remember that Ceres possesses the weapon's power. I don't believe we shall dissuade her without a direct confrontation. Be prepared to fight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Surely Ceres has her reasons to do what she's doing. Don't you think, Kuro?
She probably has her reasons, yes, but they're not
Are they good reasons? That's the question.
Yeah. I would say yes, but that's just it. Just because you have reasons does not mean that they are the right ones.
Everyone is the hero of their own story.
Perhaps we'd be better off staying out of it.
Yeah, probably not, though, because
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure...
I'd rather that we not, like, let time be destroyed, basically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh.
What's...
Truly an oddity, this.
I think I gave her the wrong voice again. It's been too long.
What's...
Anyway.
It almost seems to contain the entire universe.
Well, I mean, time and space are often linked.
No, not the universe. Time itself. Ceres! Where are we?
In the heart of the anomaly. Where the Magi hid their great project.
So this is the project, then. But why are you so keen to destroy it?
The Magi wished to prevent the end of time. So they undertook the project. In order to curve time. To extend its length, probably.
Curve time?
Destroying the project will most probably destroy time. But if there is even a minuscule chance that doesn't come to pass. So, it must be done. There's no other way.
You're wrong, Ceres. There's always another way.
Well, if you feel so strongly.
Felina! She vanished!
And so did
Velvet! No! Mega Clink, you have to fight!
Oh, Kuro. I would have hoped you, at least, would understand me. What? But I'm directly connected to the project! Why am I unable to erase you?
Just who are you anyway? Good fucking question. Are we gonna get that answer?
Let's find out. 5 pieces of the Magi key. Oh, Kuro's powers awaken. You can now slow time itself.
So he has the power to curve time. I get it now. Our fate was not to understand one another, but rather to fight one another. Okay, boss music.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Huh. Interesting.
Zawardo!
Oh boy. There is quite a bit of lag in terms of what I'm getting, and again, that's because there's a lot going on.
Oh god.
Yeah, you probably don't want to be sticking around inside that thing.
So since I don't have any party members anymore, I can instead charge a Kuro meter, and once that, you know, finishes cooling down and charging up, I can use that to temporarily slow time down.
Nice. Well, because he has his own powers now.
Yep.
Be careful about focusing too much on attacking Sarah's, especially when you have enemies approaching you. I know you only have a limited time to do so with that.
Yeah, my window's pretty small. I wonder if I can extend that with the time manipulation, or if she is immune somehow.
I mean, it's worth giving it a shot anyway.
Yep. So it looks like at least, you know, there's a limited number of enemies total.
I do dig the music here.
Yeah, this is really good, like, final boss style music.
And it incorporates a lot of the music that we've already heard. Like, I heard a couple of themes that we've already heard throughout this game.
Yep. Alright, her first life bar is down.
First form has been completed. Oh dear. Oh, that's a definite callback, I think, to... Oh. I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII, but with the floor dropping out from underneath you. But hey, we've got plunged back to a different time.
Gotta keep jumping.
Yeah, seems like. Huh. Oh, be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, your health is looking a little...
Yeah, that's probably the best. Ah, of course she spawns right on top of me.
Of course. I can barely see what's going on. There's so much happening on screen that the screen share program is going, what's going on?
I say, hey, what's going on? Oh,
And I said,
I'm almost
hey!
there. Oh, another form down. Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh my god.
This very Frieza-looking mech.
I'm guessing this is not her final form.
I don't think so. I'm still seeing another life bar underneath this.
Uh-huh. But of course we're seeing all sorts of boss forms here, which is good because, oh, interesting.
Got a...
So this is some sort of cybernetic mech.
Yeah. I think it might be, like, built on top of whatever the, like, Guardian was made from.
Yeah.
It's definitely got some very similar aesthetics.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Be sure to... Oh, yeah.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, I was gonna say, try to be sure to mind the little projectiles, too. I know that there's not much that you can do in that regard, but...
Alright.
Okay.
Now, this is the last life bar.
Well...
Just gotta stay on my toes. Unfortunately, if she gets behind me, then I'm kind of a sitting duck, because I can only fire in one direction.
Yeah. You're doing pretty good, though.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. She is not making it easy for me.
No.
But then
Well,
again,
I
would not expect her to.
I was gonna say, she intends on killing you, so...
I think I did it.
But somehow I suspect this is also not her final form. Kuro, I never wished to fight you. And I don't think you ever wanted this either. Reality is breaking apart. I think we've gone too far. I can no longer see the past or the future. Well, that was your intent, wasn't it? We have reached the end of time. So, what will happen now? The project has been damaged by our fight. Will it be enough to stop the cycle of time? If not, everything will start over. The same times, the same events, the same struggles, the same fate for all. For both of us, too. My power is fading. I will disappear, Kuro. And it frightens me. Maybe one day we'll find each other again. And if only fate remains. Together, we will change this world. I'll wait for you, G. Mm-hmm. Kuro still hasn't returned. He'll be back.
Miss Fina, it's been several days. We cannot wait any longer.
We're kind of hungry. What are you suggesting, Manos, huh? Just leave without him? Manos is right, Fina. We cannot stay here. I don't know what time or what world lies ahead, but we have to go. Well then, go! Just leave without me. I'm not going anywhere without Kuro.
Miss Fina, Mega Clink is most assuredly...
There's no point, Manos. She's made up her mind. We need to respect that.
We shall await you beyond the portal, Miss Fina.
Let's go, then. So, confirmation that Kuro is Jiro.
Pretty much. Who is also, G, as they were referring to him back at the start of the game.
Yeah. Kuro, where are you? It may be a question of when. Kuro. Or, well. Kuro. Good thing that portal is remaining pretty steady.
So now we get sort of an epilogue. I think somebody told Finros that Fina's gone missing. But you can see the Guardian and the Magilith are both back to normal.
Mm-hmm. The cycle continues, and... the mammoths that you kept shoving around.
Ha, get fucked, bear.
I guess so.
Ha! Evidently, I inspired a few folks. Dalkin and the Emperor, both still in good shape.
Yeah, this fucking dude.
Old Mr. Mudwell, just hiding away all his valuables.
Or discovering that his stash was taken.
Yeah, I guess so. One last demon looking over the ruins of the camp.
The scholars. Oh, and the statue of... Yeah. Of Velvet.
BB and the Prophet. That is a ship I did not want to think about. And apparently neither does he.
Dear Lord. Consent, woman!
Speaking of the Prophet.
Yeah.
Some things never change.
Of course.
Ah, yes. Oh, they're stuck on the puzzle that you can never solve.
Well.
I think they'll be there a while. Oh, right. This is the part where the pirates move in with Jatai.
Yes. And he gets his friends.
Power friendship.
And his racial stereotypes.
Of course. Yes, and the Viking the continent is slowly melting away as they said it would.
Yeah, I like the touch of the little flowers.
Yeah.
And the troll.
They probably don't like it as much.
And the sylphs.
Still separated from all time.
Kind of probably their best bet in some ways.
Yeah.
Timeless characters, of course.
So, I was doing some stuff, and I hear a lot of people speculating that this old man is actually old Professor Jiro.
Huh. Which would explain why he recognized him over there and was commenting to that effect.
Look who's back.
Reno! I'm glad, and I hope that he's doing better this time.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that answers that question.
Yes, it does. I suspected that might be the case.
Yeah. Wait a second. Oh?
Question mark? Explain?
So, I've heard a couple different theories on what that is supposed to mean. I think that... I believe what the kind of interpretation is that Fina discovered whatever... Like, she got into Jiro's lab before it was destroyed through the Time Rift. And took to studying what was going down in there. And learned how to basically recreate the process that resulted in Kuro's creation.
Huh.
So,
but that doesn't... But that's not the same Kuro, then.
My understanding is that it is either, like...
Part of the Eternal Loop or something?
Yeah. Well, sort of, yes. In that she either found a way to bring Kuro back from outside of time or created an artificial Kuro. But they eventually get together and have Sid, the engineer who creates our flying machine.
Interesting.
But then they also said that the other Professor Jiro showed up in that lab, killed the parents, and let Sid run free, implying that Professor Jiro was responsible for the death of Fina and that Kuro.
Huh. Well, I mean, it may be interesting, because here's the thing. If we've got... Kuro was said to be someone who was somewhat immune to the effects of time. Someone who could travel through it, so even if his soul is recreated, there's a possibility that he really does just retain everything. He did lose his memory, obviously, that one time, but there might be some things that could still come back, and we saw that.
Speaking of which...
I see we've got further epilogue.
Oh, you're awake. Are you feeling better? My father found you passed out deep in the forest. You don't remember anything? Not even your name? Maybe you should go in the forest. It could help with your memory. Oh, and my name is Fina. I hope you remember everything quickly.
Oh.
The cycle begins anew. Also, since I got 100%, please enjoy this beach party scene.
Oh my god. Why? No! Oh, and Saris is there too. And the Prophet. Sure. I'm sure they're happy to be there. Is that a ball of time? I feel my contempt rising by the second.
I think it's the Stone of Time.
It's the Stone of Time. Why was this necessary? Oh, and of course she's got a little leaf on her fucking bikini.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. So. Oh, and of course this is Shiro Games with Kuro as the main character. Shiro meaning white, Kuro meaning black.
Exactly.
Okay. So there's some interesting thoughts there. I do like that they leave it moderately open-ended, and of course it's the whole concept of time does loop in on itself. We see that with the fact that the Magi were clearly technologically advanced, but somehow in the past. Probably because of that anomaly in the first place, and of course, by trying to use that anomaly and change things, they ended up affecting the timeline in the first place.
Right. The whole thing with the project was that they ended up creating the time loop, more or less.
Yeah. So they created this time loop in the first place, which in itself is one of those kind of psychologically horrifying things, and you can kind of understand why Saris is like, let's put a fucking end to this.
Yeah.
So I agree that she has a good reason for doing what she's doing. It's just that at the same time, if time is nothing but a coexistent loop, which is not linear, but in fact kind of all exists at the same time, then, you know... Oh, okay, thanks.
Just keep talking. I don't want to just have people stare at the,
Right. If time is exactly this, and no one is actually necessarily aware of its becoming a loop inside of a handful of people, then that in itself is not a terrible thing, and one person's decision to end all of time just because she is aware of the fact that everything is a loop isn't exactly fair to the other, people who are just simply living out their lives.
This is true.
Time, it is obviously very psychologically distressing to realize that there is always the same loop that will play over and over and over and over again, that nothing will change. But isn't that in itself literally the encompassing of all of reality?
Yeah, that's true.
And we don't even understand time as it is. That's the thing. We barely have an understanding of time. We have an understanding of it in a linear sense, but the entirety of it we're still speculating on. So we could, in fact, be literally caught in a very, very long eternal cycle, exactly
and
as
we would
is
never
represented.
know.
And there might be select individuals who might actually know. So it's hard to say, but I like that they leave this open-ended and that they leave it a loop, because that even implies that there could be not just like a stable loop, but that there could be different iterations, that there could be different choices, that the Kuro who becomes Jiro could be emerging from timelines where, you know, things just go wrong or something along those lines. That either, and honestly, it does seem like Sarah's and Kuro slash Jiro are linked, that depending on what timeline they're in, one or both of them ends up being the quote-unquote antagonist of the timeline.
Yeah.
So in a way, it kind of just implies not just a stable loop, but just literally that these two are entwined by fate. And of course, you know, I love that Sarah's turned out to be the child of Manos and Velvet. Because that was, I know I suspected earlier that it was going to be Fina because of the hair, but that was going to be actually my second guess, especially given that the two of them were showing to connect with each other after some time, so.
Yeah.
So, this has been Evoland 2, and of course we're ending on a card game so that our lovely audience doesn't have to listen to me ramble over a relatively blank screen.
I win.
I really appreciate actually you taking me through this series, like both the original game, which if you guys have not watched, I recommend, and this, which takes that concept and really expands on it. I think that this one had a much more cohesive storyline. It had a much more intricate plot.
Yeah, I feel like this one had a much more of like a sense of identity, really.
Yeah, and even though it borrowed from, like, that's the thing, it is a love letter to video games, just all video games, like not just one type, not just one style, not just one genre, but it had, you know, everything from the casual games to puzzle solving games to, you know, match 3 games to turn-based strategy or real-time strategy or not real-time strategy, but like, you know, or shmups or beat 'em ups, you know, that this is literally just in itself a love letter to video games while also maintaining its own identity and a really, really well-written plot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have tremendous respect for, you know, for this way that this was written and the way that this was, you know, mapped out. A lot of thought went into developing this game, so definitely, you know, kudos to the developers. You did a fantastic job. So, all of that said, I think that's a pretty good place to call it.
I think so.
So, thank you guys all for joining me, and thank you, Luke, not only for joining me, but for helping us make it through this actually really fantastic set of games.
Absolutely. We're going to have to do this again sometime.
Yes, we are going to have to do something again sometime.
I've got a few ideas, and I'm sure you do.
I think we've both got our ideas, but hopefully you guys will see the results of that in the near future. All right. Hope to see you then.
Take care, everybody.